And once again, we're back with Hometown Highlights. Today is Tuesday, but more important, it's Bubba Day. It's Bubba Day from Schrader's in Thorndale. Happy birthday, Bubba, who turned 22 today. No, that's me. I'm turning 22 this weekend. Times something. And thank you to our northernmost listener who keeps me in line on what's right and what's wrong around here, so I appreciate that. Normally, this would be our Taylor Roundup with Mr. Daniel Seguin, but I've just been informed that Mr. Seguin is on sabbatical, taking care of some parental duties with his new child. So we have his replacement.
I'm not a replacement for Daniel.
Well, look, Daniel's not long for the world up here. That guy's too slick. He's going to be a politician somewhere, and he is well versed in all things city. But I want to let you do your own introduction today because I think it behooves us to hear your story.
Well, yes, my name is Jerrod Kingery. I am the communication specialist for the city of Taylor. I've been here about 3 months now, so I think right around the time we started our radio show here is when I showed up. I am a 25-year veteran of broadcasting and news.
Really? And tell us that background.
I started in San Antonio, where I think you and I both spent some time.
We certainly did at Magic 105.
Magic 105. I listened to that when I was a child.
Oh.
Not a child. Sorry, I apologize. Not a child, but a teenager.
Go ahead, Jay. Laugh it up over there, big boy. Laugh it up.
As an adult, a young adult, let's say.
Yeah, that's funny. When I was a child, I listened to it too.
Yeah?
While I was working. I was a kid. That was my first job out of town.
Yeah.
Scared to death.
Oh, boy.
I had never been in a town as big as San Antonio in my life, let alone live there. And, of course, the first two things that happened to me are what happened to all new folks in San Antonio is they broke into my car once and then they stole it once.
Oh, boy.
So I felt like I was a native after that. I fit right in.
Knock on wood, I never had that happen in San Antonio myself. But
I know everybody, all my friends did. I mean, it was just kind of a thing. And if you drove an F-150 pickup, which I did not, you just kiss that thing goodbye because it was down south of the border, down Mexico way.
Not a lot of demand for 1980 Buick Park Avenue diesel, I guess, which was my car.
You had a diesel Park. You know what that thing is worth now? Those are collector's cars. Those are so one-off.
The gentleman that I bought my house from here, I live in Austin, Texas, but I do live in Williamson County, so I'm connected.
You live in the weird part of...
little dip down
there.
Yeah,
right there west. I know right where you're talking about.
He had at the home that I was renting first that I then purchased from him, an old family friend. He had a 1980 Oldsmobile 98 diesel.
Wow.
30 feet long, however long that thing is. Oh, my gosh.
That thing had a nose so long you couldn't see the tip of it.
It fit in the garage with about 6 inches to spare.
Wow. Those are really are collector's items. Those are rare.
Yeah.
I mean, those are one-off things. And I bet it was bought right there on, is it Broadway? Right, there was a Pontiac Buick dealership.
Probably.
Right there on, and as a matter of fact, somebody told me the story about they worked at that store. Okay. And I can't remember exactly all the details or who it even was, but I'll remember here in a minute.
I don't remember all the dealerships in San Antonio. My dad was a mechanic, so I did know them quite a bit. I was the
Red McCombs was the big one, and I think it was a Red McCombs store.
Okay, we were in the Ancira area.
Ernesto
Ancira.
Sure. Yes. Now his daughter runs those stores.
Yes, she does. I've run across her a time or two.
Have you? Does a lot of what did you do in San Antonio?
So I started at San Antonio College. If you're familiar.
SAC.
It is the media school in San Antonio.
Is it really? It's not the Harvard of the South.
It is not. It is San Pedro High, as it's known.
San Pedro High.
But I got my start in the radio, TV, film program there.
Yeah?
My first...
I didn't know SAC was known for that.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
KSYM 90.1 your only alternative
the college
FM.
radio station.
College
Jay
radio.
Davis was on the college radio
Yeah?
station in hang on, I got it, Sam Houston. Don't start prompting me. He was a Bearcat, right? Bearcat.
You know how to cue a...
Bearcat, not a bobcat.
No, he didn't know how to cue up a record.
You don't know how to cue up a record?
He barely knows how to hit the button occasionally.
This is a much fancier setup than we had. We had carts and CDs. And
When I was in Waco and ran KWTX, they had a RTF program there, and we had all transitioned. We were the last station, I think, to go from carts to CDs.
Okay.
Everything on CD on disk drive. But the broadcasting school and the radio station at Baylor still had turntables, and that literally those turntables should have been in the Smithsonian.
yeah, I learned how to cue a record there.
But that's a skill you'll never forget either.
Right, yeah.
And we all had the cut on our pointer finger where you would splice tape
Yes.
to build commercials.
I barely did the tape splicing, but I did do that
Yeah.
quarter-inch audio tape.
I think I still feel the scar from those days because when you cut yourself, boy, you cut yourself. Okay, so then you were in TV.
I went to TV right after that. I started at the Fox affiliate.
That's a Sinclair station.
That is a Sinclair station. KABB.
Yeah.
Worked there for a couple of years.
My dear friend, Amy Villarreal, who came by yesterday and dropped something off for me, which was the coolest gift I've ever gotten.
I worked with Amy for 6 years.
Did you really?
I did.
Well, Amy and Robinson, I don't know if I'm supposed to say his name, but Amy and
I do know who you're talking about.
Okay,
yes.
Amy and I, we've traveled all over the world together because I
Really?
represent, my other company, I represent Sinclair
Okay.
as their marketing agent for here in Austin for Telemundo and
Telemundo,
CBS.
CBS Austin. Yes.
Yep.
So I spent some time at KBB to start with. I transitioned to the NBC affiliate WOAI.
WOAI.
At the time when I moved there, it was owned by Clear Channel, so we were partnered with the WOAI radio. Mm-hmm. They actually changed the call letters to match the radio station.
They sure did. And then it got sold.
Then it got sold. And then we came back. I stayed at WOAI. We came back into the Sinclair family. Sinclair purchased WOAI.
WOAI.
So,
You know, when I was there, the big TV station in San Antonio, not that anybody cares about any of this listening, but was Ken's.
oh, yeah.
Ken's TV was the CBS affiliate in San Antonio. They were a blowtorch. Okay, so TV, and then you transitioned to here?
I we worked in TV news for 6 years here in Austin with Amy at CBS Austin.
You did.
I did.
When was that? What years were those?
That was 2015 to 2021.
Wow. So you worked with the news director over, I know quite well.
Rob.
And then Steve Harris, promotions.
Oh, Steve Harris is one of my great friends.
I wouldn't tell many people that.
Oh, really?
He's not that well liked.
He and I are both collectors, so we've
Oh
bonded
my
on that.
God, you're a hoarder.
I'm not a hoarder. I'm a
Yes, you
collector.
are. If you know, I got you. Nobody. You ought to see Jay Davis, Steve Harris's house at Christmas. He starts in
yeah.
October, right, and puts all this stuff up. The HOA was about to hang him in effigy, but then they just gave up. There is not a single inch of yard in Harris's yard, and I've been to his house multiple times, that doesn't have something on it for Christmas.
Yeah.
And his wife, he collects lunch boxes.
Yes,
Right,
lunch boxes.
huge lunch box, and his wife collects Barbies.
Yep.
So imagine a house where you've got one half is that, and the other half is Barbies. You couldn't sleep there; it'd creep you out.
Well, and then when you walk in the door,
You got that big door from Lost.
yeah, he's got a chunk of the airplane from Lost.
Well, that's cool. I've always told him that was cool because I've got hoods and stuff like that off NASCAR.
oh, really?
Stuff. Yeah, I got a bunch of that at the ranch. So.
He's got a gorgeous mid-century living room, and
They've been featured on all kinds of television shows except Antique Roadhouse. I don't think they can do. They would take them 6 months to film for Antique Roadhouse there.
yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Small
world.
Yeah, well, it is a small world. So there you go. We got that in common with CBS. But so you went from there, CBS, to here?
I took a brief stint in marketing. I worked for a mortgage company. I loved, worked with a great CEO based out of St. Louis. He lives here in Austin now. And we did a lot of fun projects. But the mortgage industry fell apart.
You think?
Yes. Then I transitioned briefly to working for a government consulting firm, writing government news. And now I'm here in Taylor.
Wow, government news. That sounds important.
It was
Taylor's very lucky to have a guy with your skill set to be in your role.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity given to me by Daniel. And
well, so is Daniel the one that kind of pulls the strings, or are you really the puppet master behind Daniel?
Oh no, Daniel's our communications director. I help facilitate. Daniel's got the higher level interactions that he
Well, no
deals
wonder
with.
you do all the camera work and all that. You're accustomed to all that.
Yeah.
You ever know a guy by the name of Brian Cayley?
I don't.
Okay, Brian was, I think, before you. I hired Brian to be my production director at the ad agency.
Okay.
But what a great history. But so how long have you been here now with Taylor? 3 months?
Just over 3 months. I started at the beginning of March.
Well, what's that like? What's your job? What do you do on a daily basis?
So I work on crafting our social media messages.
Okay, which is well done, by the way.
I appreciate that. Thank you. It is. It's a big change from news, where you have to kind of flood the zone with bad news. We are,
we only focus like you do, only on the positives.
Right.
The negatives, the keyboard cowboys will take care of for us.
Yes.
We're here to spread the good news.
And I do video production, as you see here in the studio here, and over in City Hall, we shoot a.
How many social media followers does the city of Taylor have now?
That's a good question. I believe it's about 20,000.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I'm not entirely sure on that. I haven't checked that.
Well,
recently.
and how many monthly interactions do you think you have?
Those numbers, I don't know. Daniel pulls those numbers.
Oh,
I know how.
Them.
No, he doesn't hide them. That's just his.
Sure, he does.
His
he hides
lookout.
them. That's his way to keep his throne.
I do know how to find them. Yes.
Do you? Well, I forgot that Daniel was going to be off this week because I had some questions for him.
Okay,
and maybe you can help answer.
Maybe I'm not as brushed up on government as Daniel.
Well,
is,
but here's the thing: I noticed on my way in today, coming in on 4th Street from the east, it's time we start with all this rain, mowing, and mosquitoes. Right? If someone's got a standing water problem or a mosquito hotbed, because we've had a lot of cases here of mosquitoes contracting
West Nile?
West Nile, right? And we test for that and keep the. Where does one go to report standing water and or high grass with water?
Well, any concerns, you can go straight to taylortx.gov.
Okay,
You can
that's
report a
good to know.
concern there.
And are you the webmaster for all of that? Are you the?
I'm not. Those go directly to the appropriate departments. They go to our development services department, code enforcement, etc.
So do you find in your role that you're kind of a gatekeeper as far as making sure that those things that go in come back to the different departments?
Yes, mostly because not everybody knows to reach out to the proper channels.
Right.
So we have a lot of people commenting on social media, messaging us on social media. I get phone calls, and I do my best to steer them in the right direction to the proper channels.
What's the biggest phone call question you get?
They're actually relatively just sort of mundane. I had a gentleman ask where he could find kolaches in Taylor. Not necessarily the city's lookout, but I will give you a tip.
That is a great response. Because why wouldn't you call and find out? Why wouldn't you call the city? Who would know better who's in the city than the city?
Right. I have not sampled the kolaches here in Taylor yet. I do know that.
Well, I could tell you probably you go up to the 95 Bakery where they tell you, "Good morning, how are you?" Every day.
That's
pretty good. I mean, I like their stuff. Jade, have you tried their donuts? What? No,
You haven't had their donuts?
I can't believe you. We got to get you out of the honey bun from the Quickie Mart.
Oh, I've had many a honey buns.
Well, look, see here, your future.
Well,
right here
I ran into Jay the other day at lunchtime.
at a honey bun.
No, we were at Chicken Express, but
Really?
yeah,
You were having chicken? Good for you.
yeah.
I like Chicken Express too, by the way. But
I
you
do
know
too.
Yours got the best fried chicken. I was just there yesterday for a 2:00 lunch because things ran so long right here. You got to go to Sirloin Stockade.
Okay.
Have Karen show you around. They're in the middle. By the way, I'm not know if I'm even supposed to share this, but I'm going to. They're going to do a menu revamp.
Okay.
There at Sirloin Stockade. They're going to add some new things to the buffet. I don't know where they're going to find places for them because they got everything under the sun. But try their fried chicken.
I will. I have not made it to Sterling Stockade yet, but it's on my list.
Did your mama make fried chicken when you were growing
My
up?
mother did not.
Oh, then see, my mother did, and she did the old skillet frying a chicken. That's exactly how they do it. It is delicious.
I will need to bump that up to the top of the list. Then.
Try to get by there and tell them we sent you, would you?
Is that a positive or negative?
That's a positive.
Okay, good.
Oh, no, they like us there.
Okay, good.
There's a big funny story about somebody came in that works here and started giving them grief about our signage on the counter. And they he said he literally felt threatened. He thought he was going to get his butt whooped right there before he ever paid his deposit for his buffet. Yeah, it's kind of funny.
I can't do a buffet like I used to, to watch my my figure, but it is one of my favorite things.
Now, did you grow up in San Antonio?
I did.
Born and raised.
Born and raised in
Were
San
you an
Antonio.
09er?
No. I was northwest side. I'm Leon Valley.
I know where. Sure, everybody knows. That's right there off of between 410 and 1604.
Bandera Road. The
How about that?
nightmare of a road.
Oh my! And it always will be. I think. Right? It always will be. Okay, so your role is to solve people's problems when they contact the city. So are you the first point of contact for the most part?
Typically, yes.
Yeah?
Typically, I answer the emails that come in through our communications address.
And do you respond on social too to those people that make those comments?
Yeah, I will. Daniel and I both do. Daniel jumps in quite a bit, but I try to keep the closer eye on it and make sure that they're.
We have a big event tonight.
We do, yes.
That social media will be all over with Heather Long being sworn in
Correct.
the I guess it's District 4.
District 4.
Right there. She's the newest, latest, and boy, is she going to have her hands full because she's behind the curve on the old budgeting.
Yeah, it's the
process.
the unfortunate outcome of having a runoff election. You get put about a month behind.
Have you gotten to know Greg very well?
Yes, he and I have worked
Greg
together
Redden?
quite a bit.
His bride is really the glue that holds all that together. Because Greg is Mr. I'm everywhere. People think that about Jay Davis. He's everywhere. But Greg really is everywhere. He was out distributing adult beverages out at the Taylor Rodeo Association. I didn't even know he was a member. But he was out there doing that. So he's everywhere. And he piped in because Heather had sent me are you going? I said, I wouldn't miss it. Mm-hmm. We were glad to be part of the team that got you elected. And of course, Greg chimes in, me too. So Greg's one of those hangers on. Yeah. He always wants to be in the middle, and he's such a good guy.
Yeah, we've worked together a few times already. Mostly getting him a headshot, getting his
headshot.
A headshot.
Ooh. Did he have makeup on?
I'm not allowed to disclose that one way or the other.
Exactly. Let me tell you about that. Having done production, right? The way to make people the most lifelike is they get a little makeup applied to them, and nobody ever wants to admit the makeup part. But I have a great makeup artist that I've used for many commercials, and she makes it look like it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
But you're in the world of makeup. Walt Makovorsky and all those folks over there, they know how to make themselves look good.
Oh, yeah.
There's a little state secret there. Jay, I don't have to worry about it. We're on the radio, and it just doesn't matter.
I will admit to touching myself up a time or two to record our council connections videos.
Oh,
so.
I wouldn't have said that out loud. I would.
It's transparency. We're letting people know that we're working to give you the best possible looking product, and sometimes that means covering up a blemish a
stress fracture or something.
I was told it was going to go away when I was a teenager.
Yeah, they never do.
Yeah.
They never. When I ate Reese's peanut butter cups, I could have that challenge. I don't know what it is. I think I ate so many of them as a kid. Look, take a little break here. We're discussing what the communications department looks like at the Taylor City Hall with our guest, and we're going to take a break right here on Hometown Highlights, the Taylor Roundup edition for a Tuesday on 98.5 KRXT, Rockdale, Taylor, the heartbeat of Milam, Lee, and Williamson counties. And we'll be right back after this. You bet it's my town, and it's your town, and it's everybody's town, and we're in small town Taylor, where apparently I just got a big text here on the phone, Jay Davis, that Schrader's is going nuts, and Bubba is jumping up and down. And, Bubba, you jump up and down all you want to, buddy. It's your birthday today. You celebrate that any way you want to. But make sure you're wearing that KRXT cap all day today. Would you, sir? I appreciate it. Now, look, being the communications czar that you are for the city of Taylor, do you get a chance to get out much?
I do, yes. I've been to several events.
You know what I want to do today after we get off the show? We ought to walk down to Shepherd's Heart, the folks that distribute food, the food pantry here. It's right across the street from us. I've been meaning to go do that. They're at 121 East 2nd. It's the Shepherd's Heart Food Pantry and Community Ministries. And today from 12:30 to 3 is the grocery pickup.
I see that quite a bit as I leave City Hall.
Do you really?
Mm-hmm.
What a great bunch of people. And their story is so incredible. They've been doing it so long. And people forget that in the summer, while the city of Taylor, just like the city of Rockdale and Cameron and all of them, have a lot of youth programs that come online rather quickly and ramp up during summer months to keep kiddos out of trouble. Do you do the newsletter for the city of Taylor? Is that you?
I do. I do write it.
That is well written,
Thank you.
by the way. I meant to print it out today before you got here and compliment you on it.
Thank you.
Because it is.
Did you want me to autograph it? Or?
I really thought about that, if you don't mind. How often does that go out? Weekly? Or
that is a monthly newsletter.
Monthly newsletter?
Are you speaking of
that one?
This one? Oh, sorry. This is a weekly.
That's the one I'm referring to.
Yeah, I apologize. Yeah, we have our newsletter, which is monthly.
So I don't have to have you autograph it now.
No, I can autograph this if you like. But this is our weekly update. I do write.
How do you get on that list? If you're a citizen, can you get that delivered to your home?
This is more for our media partners.
Oh my gosh, Jay Davis, we're a media partner.
We do have our media partners.
Do you get it?
He does, yes.
All right. Have you ever used it? You have. Hey, we're on the radio. It's it's an audible thing. You sitting over nodding your head. When did you become microphone shy?
But of course, this is all publicly available information as well. This is just
the website for the city of Taylor is well maintained.
Yes. Have you noticed our upgrade?
I have noticed a few of them. Have I spent a lot of time on it? No, I haven't. Because when you have, I think, how many cities do we cover, Jay? 10, 12, somewhere in that
Something
number.
Like that, double digits.
Yeah, it's double digits. Yeah. I don't get a lot of time on a lot of things. I kind of I'm a skimmer, if that makes sense.
No, I understand. It's been about a week and a half, 2 weeks. We've had the upgrade. Same basic functionality, just a nice, fresh look.
It's easier to navigate.
Yes, it is.
And that's the biggest complaint everybody has: loading speed and navigate. And how often do you monitor? And I think that's the only word I can think of. Monitor the city social pages.
Oh, I'm on there every day, all day.
And it's City of Taylor, isn't it?
It's the
no. It's
Facebook is Taylor, Texas Municipal Government, and our Instagram is City of Taylor, Texas.
Taylor, Texas Municipal Government. That's why don't you just call it Taylor?
I wasn't here when the Facebook page was set up, but typically it's an SEO thing. You know that term.
Oh, I'm familiar with that. Let's don't be talking in algorithms for these poor people that are going, what did they just say? Yeah, I mean, you guys, and do you do all the graphics for all this stuff?
I do, yes.
Well done.
Thank you.
Really, it is. The thing that I wanted to tell me about this, and you would know because you did all the graphics. Tell me about this emergency management partnership with public-private sector that I think Trey and Sarah. And Trey, if you're listening, I need to talk to you today, please, sir. What's the story? What is that?
I'm not familiar with what are you referring to?
Well, it's this emergency management community emergency response team.
Oh, our CERT training. CERT
well,
training.
That's what it is.
I'm sorry.
Many crickets.
It's all these acronyms, Steve. I apologize.
Well, there is CERT training, community emergency response. What is that?
That is a course that our fire department runs that allows that trains residents, private citizens, to sort of be a helpful first responder.
And as what would be the term? Intern?
Like
a volunteer for sure, but like a reserve if you need us, we're here for you.
Like sort of like the first boots on the ground in an area for disaster, for fire, for something like that.
Okay.
The people
and what all does this involve? How do we get involved in that?
You can reach out to our fire department. I have the phone number on the post here. Let's see where we're headed here. You reach out to the Taylor Fire Department at 512-352-6992.
So it's a totally fire department related group.
Correct. Yes, this is a FEMA program that fire departments across the country.
FEMA. So this is part of a national.
This is part of a national initiative. Yes.
Initiative.
Yes,
okay,
and this is a course run by the fire department. You have a 3-day course, June 20th, 21st, and 22nd. So
ooh,
Friday,
that's
Saturday,
this
Sunday.
weekend coming up. How topical are we?
Yes, it's so please reach out to the fire department if
what
you'd
are
like
you
to.
laughing about over there?
If you'd like to join into this, but you have a.
Well, I know there's some fine folks that did it, and the last meeting they had, I don't think it was well attended, but be honest, because I don't think anybody really knew about it that much. That's why I wanted to bring it up, because it sounds like this is something that could be very beneficial.
Right, and that's what part of the goal of us to do at the communications department is to help get these events noticed more so than they have been before. And I work directly with Assistant Chief Copeland over at the fire department putting this flyer together. We had an event at the library.
That's somebody we ought to write down to invite on. We have, we've had the chief of police, and we've got Commander Branson that comes on with us pretty regular. But we don't have anybody from the fire department.
Yeah, we need to make that.
And it's kind of the
happen.
summer. It's going to get hot, and it gets hot. It dries out. When it dries out, grass, fires, picnics, whatever, flame could get loose.
Right. Especially the 4th of July coming up here.
And we just had that new.
Yeah.
Boy, that is extremely topical, because I can tell you I've burned up a pasture before with a firework, and I'll never forget that moment.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, because when my dad got excited, he stuttered. And that was one stuttering moment.
Oh, boy.
When that went across the street. And we had to have people come out and stop and help us with brooms, whacking it out across the street.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, it was really a big deal. Fire department wasn't nowhere to be seen. We were our own fire department. And we work like heck. That's what good neighbors are for, by the way.
Yeah.
Fireworks are going to be at Murphy Park.
Yes.
Dale Watson, who's the headliner for that, the American Legion, is supposed to be here this afternoon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Dale's an old friend of mine. We're going to cut some stuff for it, Jay. Stick around today. We need to get that cut for Dale. And I think Kenny's coming in to do some interviews with Dale, but Dale's going to be the headliner for the American Legion. And there's going to be some other stuff that we're involved with that morning, too, over at the church. There's going to be a lot of bouncy houses and things like that from, don't make me forget what the name of the church is. Oh, you know what I'm talking about?
I don't have it off the top of my head here.
I know.
I'm still learning the city, so
well,
I apologize.
You
if I
and
don't
me
know
both. You and me both. But we're going to be doing live remotes all day out there and being a part of that, and that'll be a fun time. But Murphy Park, and this is something special this year. We have been in contact with the fireworks vendor, and we're going to put this year's Taylor fireworks show to music.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so I need to talk to you about the city about is there a bandstand that we could broadcast the station from so that people that are there enjoying the concert can hear, and we can put that up through our Bluetooth and through our app and play that music. It'll be commercial free. And it'll be set to the fireworks.
We'll definitely see.
Let's work. We need to work on that. Yeah.
I'll reach out to Tyler and see what we.
Tyler's supposed to be on next week.
Tyler promised me next week. So if he doesn't,
we can get all this business conducted right here in front of the public. There'll be nothing hidden in the back room. It'll all be right out here in front. Tyler's a good guy. I like the heck out of him.
He's great.
Murphy Park right now, you've got pickleball courts. You've got miniature golf is back.
Miniature golf. I know we've been talking about miniature golf like crazy, and I haven't got out there to play yet.
Well, I'm going to bring my clubs up here, and I think Jay and I may go play around after the show one day. What do you think? You want to do that? Nod your head so everybody can hear you.
Most experience I've got is playing on Tiger Woods golf on video games.
Really? Well,
Sounds like there needs to be a wager there.
Sounds to me like there's going to be some fresh air involved in your life there, buddy. But no, that'll be fun. And so there's a lot going on.
A lot going on. We have our Juneteenth festival this weekend as well.
You know, Juneteenth is, and that brings me to my Bill Pickett Youth Rodeo Association.
Okay.
Gerald Anderson, who was a former city council member.
Yes.
He is related to Bill Pickett.
Yes, I knew that.
Do you know what Bill Pickett was famous for?
Oh gosh, you're putting me on the spot.
No, that's okay. Look, a city boy like you, I'm gonna help you out.
I do have a country route. I did wear my nicest belt buckle for you today.
I don't. So. Okay, well that's awkward.
Oh, I apologize for
Bill Pickett is the originator of a term called bulldogging.
Okay.
Now we call it steer wrestling. Okay. It's a rodeo event, very popular, well known, where you jump off a horse, run along, calf runs along the side, jump off the horse, grab it by the horns, throw it down to the ground.
Yes.
And that was from the Cowboys branding. That was a working ranch before ropes, before they really got in. They rope, but they also bulldog calves to show their skill. But Pickett was a champion at it. He would bite the lip of the calf to get the calf to flop. Yeah, that was his claim to fame.
Wow.
What made him a great, and it was bulldogging well before it was steer wrestling. But they're having the Bill Pickett, this is the second annual Youth Rodeo Association, out at the Expo Center, Saturday, June 21st. The gates open at 2. It's a Williamson County Expo Center. I think they still have room for vendors. And if you want to contact vendors, Tammy at 512-285 boy, my eyes are getting old. 0484. They need to make that 4 a little bit different font, I think. But they're going to have mutton busting, which we just had a great turnout for mutton busting out at the expo for the Taylor Rodeo Association. They had 2 rounds of it. It was so many kids wanting to ride a sheep. Did you ever mutton? No.
No, my nephew did, though.
Your nephew did.
My mother volunteers at the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo.
That's a great rodeo.
So, yeah.
That is a shiny rodeo, but we're going to have mutton busting, barrel racing, bull riding, bareback riding, saddle bronc riding, breakaway roping, and shoot dogging. And those are all the big rodeo events. And let me tell you, we had the Youth Rodeo World Champion, right? Go ahead and nod your head.
Correct.
She was here. And she both rides bulls, and she's from Odessa or Midland. I think it's Odessa, from West Texas. She'll be at this event. She is going to, I think she just got back from Argentina, if that's right. She is both a barrel racer and a bull rider. And she competes with young men, boys, and kicks their butt, apparently. She's got to be something to see if she could do both those events, because, I mean, those are the two most exciting events probably in rodeo. Yeah, but Bill Pickett and Gerald Anderson, this is his baby because he's family.
Yeah.
And if you go right downstairs here at the McCrory Timmerman building, there's a statue of Bill Pickett right there on the corner.
Right there on the corner.
And it is worth going to see. But this is a one-night only youth rodeo. And we're gonna miss. I'm gonna miss it. I'm disappointed in that. But we're gonna be. You all right over there? I thought you were having a mild stroke. This Saturday, the 21st, Williamson County Expo Center, and I think it's ridiculously priced at like $10, and kids 10 and under get in free. So that's a big part, because Bill Pickett was an African American, right, and that's what even really set him apart in rodeo. So come out, celebrate Juneteenth. Taylor style, and then go out and enjoy the youth rodeo. That ought to be something to see.
Yeah, the parade starts at...
That's right. There is a parade that starts...
9 a.m.
Yeah?
5th Street and Main runs down to Fannie Robinson Park.
I am so disappointed I'm going to miss all that.
Just be aware there will be some road closures in the area. So,
okay. Do not yell at the officers.
Right.
Everybody
gets
to
get through safely down to the park. And
we were part. Taylor was involved in this event this past weekend. That was nationwide. Everybody's talked about, and it was a very peaceful, the way it should be.
Right.
A demonstration expressing your First Amendment right, which you have every right to do. But nobody caused any trouble. No bucks, no whammies.
It's great to hear.
Yeah, it was great to hear, wasn't it? And good for them.
Yeah,
good for them. As long as you don't have to be destructive, and you don't have to be aggressive to present your side of the story.
Right.
And I like that about what happened here. So, anything else?
No, I don't have anything else. Just note that the city will be closed on Thursday for Juneteenth. So city offices will be closed. So if you try to reach out to us,
and I think everybody's closed. It's a national holiday.
It is a national holiday. Yes.
You know the story behind Juneteenth. You're from Texas.
Oh, of course. My dad used to throw Juneteenth parties 30 years ago.
Well, and we all celebrated it here in Texas because it was a Texas thing.
Right.
And we talked about that yesterday. And then I don't know who was it that made it a national holiday. It has nothing to do nationally with anything.
Yeah, it was 3 or 4 years ago now.
I think it was the Biden administration, wasn't it?
I do believe that was when it was...
that made it a national holiday for a Texas. That's, once again, just shows you how the influence of Texas.
That's right.
How we are, not only in the country, but in the world, kind of thing. Are you keeping up with all the news that's going around now with... the legislature's now over.
Right.
The governor's starting to sign bills, and he just signed a big one yesterday about property tax relief.
Yeah.
How does that impact Taylor?
Well, I don't have the tax knowledge.
Daniel.
I don't have. Yeah, I'm not that familiar with the tax code and everything.
Well, I'm just curious to know how that does impact. Maybe we can get some answers on that for next week.
Yes, I will.
Talk about
we'll
that.
look into that. I apologize for not
that's
being
all right.
on top of the government as Daniel is.
It just happened yesterday that he signed it, so it's not like we expect you to come in here and just fire away. Now Daniel, he's a unique individual. I think he eats, sleeps, and breathes that stuff, right? Whereas you and I are much more well-rounded. Just don't tell Daniel.
Well.
He's extremely focused. But when you have a name like Seguin and the history of his family being involved,
right,
in an activist, you might say, you kind of inherit that. I think it's a natural trait, much like good hair, which you certainly seem to have.
Thank you. I appreciate
Jay and
that.
I are a little jealous probably of that, by the way. But look, if you don't have anything else, we'll ease on out of here and we'll go talk to Lucida over at the Rockdale Chamber. So, are we good?
I'm good.
All right,
you.
you're good.
Thanks
I'm
for the
good. We're
time.
all good right here on Hometown Highlights on 98.5 KRXT. Thanks for listening, and go by and share a piece of a birthday cake with Bubba at Schrader's
Yes,
today.
happy birthday, Bubba.
There you go. Look at that. We'll be right back right after these.